Recording. All right. My name is Joshua Nelson, and I am an independent prover with the company, the amazing company Pruvit. I am here to actually teach a little bit on cold calling, a little bit of face-to-face interaction, and kind of how we segue into either one of those or both. So before we get started, I want to clarify that the things I am teaching on are of my own opinion and of my own experience, and not that of Pruvit Ventures. Before we get started, I would love everybody to go to a place of gratitude. I'd love you to either message somebody you're thankful for, maybe tell somebody that you love them, that you miss them, wish them a happy new year if you haven't done that. Take a few minutes here, or 60 seconds, and go ahead and just tell them how much you appreciate them. I'm looking at you, Kevin. You ain't messaging nobody. That's what I thought. So. All right, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to get started on the recognition list because it is long, which is awesome. Love it. So we got Jade covered. She has been stepping out of her comfort zone. We have Kat Pitka and Don Cadwell, doing the bridal bazaar. Tony Cohen for offering lots of support. Carol and Martin Peters for going pro. That's amazing. Love it. We got Carol and James Winters setting up duplicatable systems. Sorry, my handwriting is awful. Missy Sipes for connecting stories. Jess Nouse for leading from the front. Elizabeth Rutson for committing to daily habits. That's huge. That's very key. Love it. Wayne Andrews. Let's see. Consistency in sharing the ketone conversation. That is definitely key. And down 105 pounds. You lost a whole human being. That's amazing. We got Connie Russell crushing her ketone journey, and Riley Peterson for connecting lovers of ketones to our communities. We always need more of those. So hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Looking over my notes here. Does not look like it. All right. So a little bit of cold calling, a little bit of face-to-face interaction. This is something I actually, I did not start off being well at. And I'm gonna promise you that. I have a little story about it. And when I had first met Brian, it's probably about 6 months before I actually started drinking ketones because I was a stubborn individual. I was a meathead. I was a bodybuilder. I asked a million questions. Finally, when I did, obviously had a great experience like we all have had. And I was invited after basically getting, signed up to share the conversation. I came to his house and we had basically a Christmas party per se. And we had a lot of fun, a lot of festivities. And then he was like, hey, why don't we do some messaging? Do a little boiler room. We're all hanging out. And I was like, wait, what? We're gonna work? We're gonna work? And I was so he's like, yeah, no big deal. Like, who do you think you benefit from actually drinking ketones, right? Just and asking basic questions. And so I remember trying to get somebody on the phone, and my fingers were shaking, and I was nervous. And he's like, just call him. And I was like legitimately shaking with nervousness. And that's okay, because that's where we all start, right? Somewhere between scared and nervous, right? So I'm going to give you a few, I'm going to actually start with the thought process that actually helped me a lot to overcome basically where I started at from being so nervous and so scared of messing the conversation up with sounding like an idiot with, you guys all got the picture, right? So the thought process, and I'm going to start this off, we're all going to fail. Okay? Just inevitable. We're all going to sound like idiots. That's inevitable. I'm not calling you an idiot. I'm just saying we're all going to sound like idiots. It happens. I mean, I've been doing this now for 2 years, and there are still times where I'm like, what did I just say? Did I even talk about ketones? I don't even know. So once you get over that hump and you're like, all right, I'm just going to fail, and I'm going to sound like a dum-dum, right? We just get over that, let it go, okay? The second process is an understanding, and I'm going to throw a bit of logic and a little bit of reason at you, okay? And then just is how my brain works, and a little bit of ammunition for you. 3 to 5% of all people you run into, this is a fact, are looking for what you have. I'll repeat that one more time. 3 to 5% of people that you run into are looking for what you have, right? If you talk to 100 people about the ketone conversation, the statistics will show that 5 of them will buy. Like those we call them laydowns, right? The sheeps, the people that are just like, hey, have you ever heard of ketones? And they're like, I want everything, you know? Like, those are amazing, right? They're out there. So 100 people, 5 of them will buy. Now, a lot of you are going right now, well, good God, 100? I got to talk to 100 people? Sounds like a lot. Yes, it does. But you can actually do this in a week, and it just becomes a numbers game. If you start 4 brand new conversations every single day, 4, you will have 28 conversations. I have to do the math in my head. 28 conversations in a week. You will have well over 100 conversations in 1 month. So right there is 5 lay down customers that are looking for ketones. They are dying. Like they just, like I said, those are the people that you just say, hey, what do you know about ketones and ketosis? And they're like, I know everything and I've heard all about this. Give me all the ketones, right? So we are all looking for it. And so when's the best time to go out and actually find another customer or find somebody else that's excited? Does anybody know? No? Don't see no hands? It's right after you get one. It's right after you find a customer, right after you find one of those lay-ons that is excited, because you know why? Your confidence is extremely high, right? How do you feel when you find somebody and they're like, I want all the ketones, and then they go on there and they purchase like 6 boxes, and you're just kind of doing like one of the dances, like you're doing like the moving around dance, right? Like maybe I'm alone on that one. I'm not seeing a lot of nodding heads. Maybe I'm alone on that one, but that is the best time to actually go out and continue cold calling. Now, another thought process thing that I like to teach on is the fact that another thought process I think on is, anyway, people are likely to say no to you when they know you. Period. Like if you don't, people are more scared of saying no to a complete stranger than they are the people that they know. So we all want to get a hold of the people that we know. We all want to help our family. We all want to help our friends. I get it. But those are the people that are actually going to tell you no right away. Okay? So if you have that understanding that strangers are more scared to say no to you than you are actually to talk to them, then you're actually going to start seeking some of the cold calls, some of those people. Let me take a look at my notes here. Another thought process that I have, like I said, I'm just teaching a lot on the thought process because that's realistically the hardest part is the thought process behind cold calling. At any point in somebody's life, I don't care if it's a grandma, I don't care if it's a mom, a dad, I don't care if it's a child, like a teenager, young adult, at some point, they're going to walk into a GNC, a vitamin shop, some sort of brick and mortar supplementation store, and they're going to walk in because they want better health. Okay? And they're going to spend money on it. And you can test this theory. I don't care if it's somebody that's a high performance athlete or, an 80-year-old grandma. If you ask everybody, hey, have you ever walked into a health food store wanting something, just fat loss, focus, energy, all the things that ketones offer, 99% of the time they will say yes. And then you always ask them, how'd that work out for you? 99% of them will say, I paid a bunch of money, it didn't do anything. So you almost have this moral obligation to interject, to intercede this process before they go and spend astronomical amounts of money at GNC or Vitamin Shop or some of these other stores, or God forbid, buy crap off Amazon. We have something, pure therapeutic ketones, that literally are scientifically proven. We have testimony upon testimony. A lot of them we can't even say about because we're going to go against compliance. So be careful what you say. But the reality is your belief should be extremely high, and you have to have that mentality behind that. So you almost have a moral obligation. So now I've taught you a little bit on the thought process of what I go through. And so now that we've, if you keep some of that in your arsenal, just remind yourself, and I have to remind myself too, this is nothing that I'm an expert at. Like, there are times I have to write this down. There's the times I have to remind myself these very same things. Walk into GNC, 3 to 5% of those people are looking for me. When's the best time I can go out and find a customer? Right after I got a customer. Like, I have to remind myself of those same things over and over and over and over again. It's the daily affirmations, right? So getting into actual cold calling. Now, this is different for everybody. We can use templates. I'm going to give you a simple template that I pretty much use 9 times out of 10. And it's, hey, so-and-so, Sally, Billy, Bob, Joe, whoever. I see you've been making some health and fitness posts. And I see that you're a little bit on your own fitness journey. You may already know this, but what do you know about ketones and ketosis? Legitimately, that is 9 times out of 10. I go to their page. 9 times out of 10, when you go to somebody's page and you scroll down, they have made some sort of fitness post. It's either they're at the gym or they're making some sort of food, or they're, you know what I mean? You will find something. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a high performance athlete all the way to my 87-year-old Nana. Like, they all, and legitimately, my 87-year-old Nana and my 88-year-old Papa go Foursquare dancing 4 nights a week. They're very active. And they make posts once in a while. It's funny to watch because they're definitely not Facebook savvy, but you should have that in the back of your mind, right? So everybody has that. So you can tweak that. You can make that your own. If you want to make it more specific, by all means, go for it. Actually, more specific, it's probably going to be a little bit better, a little more catered to that person. Here is the big differentiator in the conversation, and take it from somebody who used to throw up. Once I finally taught myself word vomit, not just actually throw up, but I took myself through this process of mindset. I remind myself of those same things every day. I basically wrote this exact same thing out over and over and over again until it's ingrained. It's in my body. I already know what to say. Hey, so-and-so, you're on a fitness journey. You may already know this. What do you know about ketones and ketosis, right? From this point, here's the important part, especially with a cold call. Don't do what Joshua did. And that is, once they say no, and you send them the video or you start the conversation, do not throw up a bunch of information. Just don't. Like, I don't care if you're an expert in this conversation or you don't know the difference between a ketone and a Keystone beer, okay? Ask questions. Ask questions. Who, what, when, where, why? Who, what, when, where, why? They're really simple. Ask lots of questions. I've learned this the hard way. In fact, I learned this actually not through the ketone conversation because I kept word vomiting all over the place. I learned this in discipleship because when I want to meet somebody where they're at on their walk with Christ, I have to ask them questions. What are they struggling with? What's going on in your life? What are you having victories in, right? Like, that's what people want to hear. People do not want to hear me come and shove Jesus down their throat. Same concept goes for, not that I'm comparing ketones and Jesus, but same concept goes for the ketones. Do not shove all the information down their throat. Ask lots of questions. Because one of a couple things is going to happen. You're either going to pick up on a nugget that you're like, okay, that's what I'm going to speak to right there. They're looking for better clarity. They're looking for better energy. They're looking for better appetite suppression. Maybe they can't stop eating since Christmas, right? Like, you'll find the nugget to speak to and you'll find the resource to give them. And we've all kind of been through this process, and I'm not going to take you through that process, but ask lots of questions until you find it. Now, there will be people that are just not interested. That's okay. But since you have asked the question up front, you're not beating around the bush. What do you know about ketones and ketosis? You've asked lots of questions. They already kind of know where this conversation goes. Let's say they're flat out just not interested. I just don't care. No, I'm good. Whatever. You have something going on in your life. Okay? Since you have taken through this process, you've asked lots of questions, you've actually got to know this person. Here's another key factor. If they're not interested, still stay interested in the person that you're talking to. Right? Still ask questions. How's life going? You doing okay? If you're like me, I usually ask, can I pray for you for anything? Right? Still stay interested in that person. You've already gone through lots of questions. You're already getting to know the person. They probably give you more information than you ask for, because that's usually what people do, because they just want to talk, right? You've asked lots of questions. They're not interested. You still stay interested in the person. And I actually learned that this year. Not this year, last year. So well into my ketone journey, I learned I was like, it's still stay interested. Because the reality of the situation is it's never no, it's not right now. Okay? It's never no, it's just not right now. Because we all understand that we have to meet people where they're at. We all have to understand, especially with a cold call, we have to be very polite to people. They are giving us their time. They are giving us some energy. They might have a lot of things going on at home. And so now you're making a genuine connection. This is where I'm going to lead you into the face-to-face interaction and building in your own backyard. Tony Cohn is prime at this. Dawn is prime at this because she works with Tony a lot. You guys are crushing it. Kevin's killing it. Missy, you guys, I can keep going. I keep naming everybody on the Zoom, right? You guys are killing it in your backyard. So I want to encourage people with the cold call. A lot of times we can get into these modes where we only want the people we know or we hang out with or do life with, right? We want them to come over, right? It is important right now as you're making the cold calls, whether they're interested in the ketone conversation or maybe they're not. Still invite them to be face-to-face with you. And this could be a plethora of different things. You could go to coffee. You could go grab a bite to eat. You could go to a class. You could take them to Tony's class and get beat up Krav Maga style. I don't know. Do an outdoor activity. Not in Alaska because it's freezing, but if you're in San Diego, go enjoy the warm weather. So invite them out. Do not be afraid to do that. People are interested in meeting new people. Really, that's what the culture is all about at Pruvit. We are a community-based marketing company, okay? So social media is great. All these ways to connect is great. Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. After you've gone through the process, it doesn't matter if they say yes or they say no or whatever, still stay interested, segue them into actually doing activity. If they're interested, obviously it's a no-brainer, get them to a mixer. If they're not, just say, hey, we get together and we do keto coffee and we just hang out and kick it. Like, invite them to those things, right? It's obviously going to get them around the community. It's going to get them around the people that are on fire. It's going to get them around other people that are excited. I got to look at the name here. I mean, shoot, if you get them around Wayne Andrews losing 105 pounds, good God. Like, that just in itself will sell, right? So get them into the face-to-face conversations. Do not be afraid to do life with these people. And I'm going to tell you right now, it has been an amazing journey from a personal testimony in doing that because I am about to embark on a 6-week journey right now between pretty much across the United States. And a lot of the places I'm actually going to visit are just cold calls that I got to know people on social media. Some of them are customers. Some of them are not. We're still meeting up. We're still hanging out. We're still doing life, right? So I believe that is all I got for you. Let me just check here. Yep. That's all I got for you. So all in all, moral of the story is train your thought process. Understand that people are looking for you. People are excited about what you have, not just ketones, but the people that you are. You are all lovely. You are all amazing. You all have incredible souls that have incredible energy, and you guys need to get around more people. And we're going to have to step out of our comfort zone. I'm not any better. I got to step out of my comfort zone and talk to more people. In fact, I'm going to make a vow right now. I'm about to hop on a plane tonight, and I'm going to fly in the middle of the night. I'm going to make a vow. You guys can hold me to it. I'm going to talk to at least 2 people on the plane about ketones. Brand new cold call. Okay? I'm going to make that vow right in front of y'all. So, good. Hold me to it. You guys can all message me in the group. All righty. So, love y'all. You guys got any questions? You guys just shoot me a message, shoot Nick a message, or just get with your coach and just keep working with it. That's really honestly where a lot of it comes to. I gain a lot of this knowledge and a lot of this understanding from Brian James and just getting around him and understanding and asking lots of questions and having him really, just pour into me. It's really important because like I said, there's still times I'm 2 years in and I still got to call Brian and ask him, just remind me, we're going to get together when I'm in San Diego here in about 2 weeks and we're going to be going over goals and thought process, the whole 9 yards. So All right, everybody in San Diego, see you guys in 2 weeks. Love y'all. Everybody have a wonderful, beautiful evening. And this is a wrap.